Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome. You are tuned into Bigmike Drop. I am your humble host, Big Mike, coming to you from my new home. If you've been watching my vlogs over the past probably 10 years plus, or actually about 10 years, I was in one place and I've been there for a long time, and I've since moved to this place actually recently. This May, I actually moved here. Not too far from my current place, but it's a new place. It's been great so far. I've been enjoying it. Love it so far. But yeah, so I've been here for a while and I'm loving it. So, a few housekeeping items before I get into the topic today. So, I have not done a lot of vlogs this year. A few reasons. Number one, I'm going to be transitioning into doing more sneaker content next year, and so I haven't really done much this year. But the other reason is because I actually have embarked on a new podcast that I do with some of my colleagues, some friends of mine that I've met over about 4 years ago on in a chat room called Halftime. That's no longer around. RIP Halftime. So we actually decided this year to do a sports podcast. So it's called the Originals_Sports Podcast. So it's myself, my friend VO, my other friend Smooth, my other friend Dylan, and my homegirl, NFL girl. We are the main five, but then we also have our other friend Lake Show who comes on. We might have some other people come on from time to time as well. So it's pretty lighthearted, I would say, if I had to describe the podcast. We do talk about in-depth stuff. We talk about different sports stuff. We do talk about pop culture stuff with involving in sports in some capacity, but we usually try to keep it as lighthearted as possible. We're not super stuffy and serious, but we are knowledgeable and we know what the hell we're talking about. So if you want to watch non-clickbaity podcast, because I would say ours is definitely not clickbaity, although some of the stuff we may say might come across that way. It's not the intention. It's just we're very blunt and we're very vocal, and that's just how we are. But again, it's the Originals_Sports Podcast. We are on YouTube. We're on Apple and Spotify. And we also have an Instagram page with all the shorts and all that stuff there. The YouTube channel and Spotify has the full long episodes, but eventually next year I will change it up the format a little bit of how we're going to do that. But for right now, if you want to check it out, feel free. It is on all the platforms and all the social medias. I'm working on doing a TikTok, so bear with me. Once we get to TikTok, it's going to be over, game over. We're going to change the game. But in the meantime, like I said, next year my plan is to be doing more sneaker content. And posting more stuff like that. But for right now, for those of you who have been on this channel before, you know how it goes. I'm a sneakerhead. For those of you who are new to it, I usually do a year review of the sneakers that I purchased from the year. So for example, this year is obviously 2025, and I'm doing a review of all the sneakers that I purchased in 2025. I've done it pretty much every year since I believe 2017. The only year I didn't do it was 2023, as far as I remember in terms of the year round. But I did it last year, and I'm doing it this year. So I bought a lot of shoes this year. If you're those of you who are into sneakers who know about this year in terms of releases, this was hands down probably the best sneaker release year of all time. Probably better than even than 2016, because just the amount of stuff that came out is just redonkulous. And I usually wait till the end of the year. Usually when I make my last sneaker purchase of the year that I know I'm not buying anymore is usually when I'll do my list. So that's why I kind of had to wait until damn near 2 days after Christmas, because I got my recent pair I think Tuesday. So just for context. Now again, for other context, two of the shoes I have not worn yet, just because I got them recently and it's wintertime. And you're going to see some repeated models in terms of like the different designs, but there's a rationale behind buying all of them. So for context, and in terms of how much sneakers I bought this year, I bought 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I bought 10 pairs of shoes this year, which is uncanny and insane for sure. No doubt about that. But again, I'm a sneakerhead, love shoes, and there's worse things I could be buying, like cocaine. So there you go. Anyway, let's get started. I want to talk your up because it's going to probably be a longer one. Try to keep it as short as I can, but I can't make any promises. So 10 on my list. Let me make sure I got it right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, number 10 on my list. So number 10 on my list. Oddly enough, I forgot I bought these this year. These ones. So these are the Air Jordan 3, they're called the Lucky Shorts actually. So there's a story and rationale behind these shoes. So these shoes came out in March of this year. And I wanted them, obviously, because I bought them. But no, mainly the reason why I bought these is because I do have another pair of it's called the UNC 3. I showed it in a previous video about a few years ago in terms of most hype sneakers, and I will show it again in a video probably next year when I do a countdown of all my Jordan 3s, because I have a lot of Jordan 3s. But it's similar in terms of the cut, like the UNC, but the only difference between this color and the one the UNC 3 is this one's a little bit darker. So the reason why these are called the Lucky Short 3s is that there is a rumor, or not a rumor, but this is known fact, that one of the weird things that Michael Jordan used to do is just more of a superstition type of thing. Is he used to wear his UNC practice shorts underneath his Chicago Bulls shorts, and he used to wear them every game. So every game that he played in the NBA, he wore his college basketball, because he went to the University of North Carolina, and they have this colorway, and he wore the practice shorts underneath his basketball shorts. And his reasoning for doing that was, he said it was for good luck. So that's why he did it. And so they commemorated a shoe for him. So really straightforward. A Jordan 3 is a very straightforward shoe. I love the color blocking, very simple. But the one thing about this shoe, I don't think I'll be able to, you'll be able to see it. Yeah, so basically in here is going to have basically the lining of, it has like a little clever lining. So basically it's like the size of the shorts, I think. So they kind of put that in there to kind of commemorate that. So thought it was a cool little story and all that too. It's not just like a regular old Jordan 3 that just slapped together and just put out whatever. It has a little bit of a story and some history to it, which I liked. Also, like I said, it's a very casual shoe. You can really wear this with damn near anything for the most part in terms of white, blue, gray. You know, very something, sort of very neutral colors, very simple. And I just really loved it. And I was like, yo, when I saw it, I was like, I'm buying it. And oddly enough, these sat for a while. People didn't really buy these like that, and then eventually they sold out. So I'm not sure where you can get them. Probably besides consignment is probably your best bet. I bought these on Foot Locker. I didn't pay for context. Every shoe I bought that I'm showing on this list, I did not pay above retail for. This is probably one of the first years I ever was able to buy every single shoe that I wanted through either Foot Locker or Champs, one of the two. So, but no, these are dope. Very comfortable. Jordan 3s are one of my favorites because they're super comfortable to wear, and like I said, these are one of my go-tos when I do go out and wear them. Like I said, I'd probably throw them on with these if I wanted to too. So this outfit. So where you could get them, I'd probably say your best bet right now is consignment, due to the fact that these did sell out, and they did restocks throughout the year up until about summer. I think by summertime they pretty much had sold out all of the pairs. So it's gonna be kind of hard to get them through like retail means, but you can still get them. You just have to get them through consignment, and hopefully the price point isn't crazy high. It'll be a little bit above retail, but it's not crazy compared to other shoes. Even the other shoes on this list I might show. So number 10 on my list, the Lucky Short Jordan 3s. All right, so next is going to be another Jordan 3. This is almost like my damn list last year where I showed you two Jordan 3s at the top. But these ones actually. So these ones are my Pure Money 3s actually. The only reason why these are a little bit lower on my list is because it's an all-white, predominantly all-white shoe. Although I didn't know this until I actually bought the shoe, that it has silver actually on the tongue, and then in the back it actually has a clever little thing here. So it's called Pure back here, and then I think it says, yeah, it just says Pure, and then there has a money sign on the S, so it's Pure Money. So the reason why these are called Pure Money, I have no clue. I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no idea why they call these Pure Money. I just know that I like them because they're an all-white Jordan, and I really wanted an all-white Jordan to wear. Mainly if I kind of go somewhere casually, or if I'm going on a date with somebody, if I decide to go venture down that road, which will be a podcast in itself. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna go down that road again. But no, these are very casual, simple. It's pretty much an all-white shoe. So you can kind of rock it with anything. I've worn these a few times actually. Try to not wear them too much because of the white, obviously, but these are dope. I think they re-retroed these. These originally came out, I believe, was it 2006 or something like that? Either the mid to or late 2000s, I believe these originally came out, and they sold out. So people really liked these back then. They also had the Black Hat 3s that came out, which is an all-black version, which sold out like crack. People love those shoes. These sat for a little bit, but they eventually sold out. But these are great. Love these shoes to death. And again, it's a Jordan 3, super comfortable. Now, this part is going to yellow probably because this is patent leather right here, but hey, it's whatever. That's why you just wear your shoes. So I'm going to enjoy these bad boys as long as I humanly can. I should have bought another pair, but it's all good. These are still dope nonetheless. So where you can get these, like I said, they sold out, but probably GOAT and is probably your best bet unless you want to take a chance on StockX. So number nine on my list is the Pure Money 3s. All right, so Now we're going to number 8. All right, so number 8 is going to be a banger that's been sitting on shelves, but it's a banger nonetheless. And I actually have 2 different Jordan 5s actually on this list. So these are the first ones I'm going to show you, and the second ones might surprise you. But and also where I put them. But number 8 on my list are the black tongue Jordan 5s, which is these ones right here. So there's the Fire Reds. Sorry, these are called the Fire Reds. So for context, there are 2 different versions of the Fire Reds. I have both. I'll try to see if I can show you. I'll probably, you know what, I will do a countdown down the road, and I'll show you both Fire Reds in the future. So I'll just kind of keep it, not just so I'm not talking your head off. So number 5 are these ones. So these are called the Fire Reds mainly because of the red here. It's symbolized. The Fire Red is basically like a fire truck essentially. So fire truck red. That's kind of where they got the concept for this. And then obviously the difference between this Fire Red and the other Fire Red is that this bad boy here, the 23 on the back here is different than they don't have the 23 on that one. The Fire Reds on those ones have an infrared, a 3M tongue. This is just a regular old black tongue, still comfortable nonetheless. And also the toe shape is different on that one compared to this one, and just the color blocking is a little bit flipped. And then on the other Fire Red version, this part is red and this obviously is black. So there's some subtle differences between the two, but that one I actually prefer a little bit more than this one. That's why this one's a little bit lower on my list, but it's still a dope shoe. Actually wore it a lot than I anticipated, partly because they're super comfortable. They made these Jordan 5s this year like stupidly comfortable, like ridiculously comfortable. And I'm very big on comfort as I've gotten older in my old age, so I can appreciate a shoe that's very comfortable. And these ones are super comfortable, and that's one reason why I ended up buying them. Because initially I wasn't going to buy these actually. These were going to be ones I did not buy. But when I saw that they were coming out and I saw that they fixed the toe shape and just the look of them, I'm like, okay, I got to get these. And Michael Jordan did actually play in these, believe it or not. So he did actually play in these. These are one of the OGs that he did actually play in. Again, very comfortable and all that as well. Not as probably popular as other Jordan 5s. These don't really get as much love, but they are still dope nonetheless. Where you can get them, they're actually still at stores. So right now as we speak, this is December 27th. Maybe they're sold out because of Boxing Day, but they sat for a while. And these came out, I believe, in September. So they've just been sitting. Partly because I just think people either, there was just so much stuff that came out, or they just weren't checking for these. But these are a great shoe. They're super comfortable, super dope, light, and I love these. So, like I said, if you can't get them through regular retail consignment, you might be able to get them for a nice deal, or basically pay retail for them, if anything. So, these are number 8 on my list. These are the Jordan 5 Fire Red Black Tongues. All right. So now we're going into number 7 on my list, and number 7 is not a Jordan, believe it or not. Is these ones, okay? And oddly enough, this is the first shoe in a while I have that's not a Jordan that I bought in a while, actually. So these are the Ken Griffey, I guess the Griffey 1 freshwater black pair, okay? So for those of you who don't know who Ken Griffey Jr. is, he is a former baseball player, played for the Seattle Mariners, first overall pick. He also played, I believe, for the Cincinnati Reds, and he finished his career, I believe, with the Chicago White Sox. Okay, but he made his hay and his name with the Seattle Mariners. And if you don't know the colors of the Seattle Mariners, this is pretty much the color blocking of their jerseys, except it was navy. The black here, it's basically like a dark navy, this teal, and then like white, essentially, and then silver. Although I didn't realize they have the red here. That threw me off at first, but I still think they're dope. So the reason why I bought these is because I've always loved the Ken Griffey line, and the Griffey ones, these ones, I always liked. Now there are 2 versions of the Freshwaters, which threw me off. So there's a version like his home. There's a version that he wore at home, and there's a version that he wore on the road. So when he was at home playing, the version that he wore had a little bit of teal, but this version, this part was black, and I think this was white. I think it was like reverse or something like that. But the home version was more white, if that makes sense. This one is the one he would wear when they were on the road, when they were playing in an opposing team stadium. This was the one that he would wear. So, and honestly, I have another pair that I showed a few years ago that was like a varsity royal colorway that I showed probably like 2 or 3. Like I think I bought those in 2021 that I showed, but those are in storage, as amongst a lot of other Jordans. But These ones I always like. These are like my favorite version of this shoe. And so I almost didn't get them. They had sold out initially, but then I went out a few weeks ago, and oddly enough, in my local Foot Locker, right, they had them, and this was the last size pair of 13. So at that point, I was like, well, fuck, I might as well get them now because I regret it if I don't buy them. And I actually wore them a few days ago, or I think I wore them last week, sorry. And super comfortable, actually. Another reason why I like these is I can kind of get away with wearing these a little bit in the wintertime as long as it's not snowing out or super cold. Partly because it's kind of really big, it's almost like a boot, essentially. So I really like just the way that they did it and the makeup of the shoe. But yeah, these are dope, classic OG colorways. So if you're just, like I said, I love Jordans, but I also love sneakers. So if you're somebody who just loves sneakers, these are definitely some ones that you should get in your collection. Definitely an underrated shoe. In terms of where you can get them, you could try Foot Locker or Champs. If not, you'd probably have to go the consignment route. There was a fair amount of hype when they first came out, but because there was so much other Jordans that came out, like the Gamma 11s, I think the Gamma 11s kind of stole the shine of these a little bit, but these are still a dope shoe. I'm going to be wearing these a fair amount, and I got Seattle Mariners hats for days too, so I might even buy a Ken Griffey Jr. jersey just to piss off my one friend Dylan, who lives in Seattle, actually. So, but anyway, I hope he's not still on again. And I've forgiven him for talking crazy when we were playing them the Blue Jays were playing them in the playoffs. So, but anyway, these are dope shoe. Like I said, get them where you can get them. If you can get them at Foot Locker or Champs, by all means, or even JD Sports, they might have them. If not, I would probably say consignment route, but these are still a classic shoe. Definitely can't go wrong. So number 7 on my list is the Air Griffey Max Freshwater Black version. All right, so now, man, this is getting intense now. So I have a lot of shoes now. So before I kind of tee these ones up, just for context, I'll probably stop this halfway after this one, just to kind of show you the next set of shoes. But this will be the last shoe I'll show in this video. So, number 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. Okay, so this is number 6 on my list, and this was a tough one. And for context, these two shoes are kind of part of a collection or a pack, so to speak. So I didn't get the whole pack; I only got these two within it. But these ones are number 5 or 6, sorry, on my list. So these ones are the Air Jordan 3, another Air Jordan 3, but these are the Rare Air versions. So, what are the Rare Air 3s? So, the idea and concept behind the Rare Air 3s is Jordan brand in years past have tended to put out shoes that had imperfections, that had factory flaws, and stuff like that. And those were seen as rare airs, like rare in terms of being able to find them, purchase them. Because usually they were maybe a factory defect or something along those lines. So Jordan brand decided to do a concept this year with 4 different Jordans, where they kind of showed a shoe that had a bit of imperfection, stuff like that. So they did with the Jordan 1, Jordan 3, Jordan 4, and Jordan 11. Now I didn't get the Jordan 1s or Jordan 11s. I did get the Jordan 4s, but that will be later in the next video where I'll have that. Partly because I like the 3s and the 4s the most. So these ones I really liked, actually, because so for context, these came in with black laces, actually. So initially when they came out, they had black laces, and then you could swap them out for the white laces. So initially I had the black laces in, but then I decided to switch it out and put in these tan laces, because it just kind of offset the shoe and it made the shoe pop a little bit better. And so once I started wearing them with the white laces, it just made the shoe stand out. And now the shoe looks, I love that way the shoe looks. But one thing it has here on the tag, it says here, and I just kept it just for aesthetics. It says, please note, due to suede characteristic, please be aware that there's potential color contamination to the upper and bottom unit. So what that essentially means is right here is suede. So it might contaminate this bottom part here, so to speak. But I just did a nice little thorough cleaning, so they're okay right now, so no contamination yet. But the one thing that I thought was kind of weird but cool about this pair is this. So if you notice, they have the Nike Air pointing at the opposite direction. And initially I was freaked out. I'm like, why the hell is it doing that? Because I didn't know that was a part of the shoe. But that's just a kind of the part of the shoe. Every shoe does this, basically. One other thing, again, with this shoe, like I said, and it sat on shelves for a while. Like this shoe came out, I think, in May, and it just sold out, I think, in October finally. Like where there's no pairs and no sizes. I think part of the reason why people didn't buy this pair, I think, because there was a lot of other stuff came out. Because there was some hype around the Rare Air collection, because just the difference of it. But I just think people there was too much stuff coming out, and I think people didn't like these. But these are great, and I've worn them multiple times as well. Super comfortable. Again, I'm a Jordan 3 fanatic. I love Jordan 3s. Probably my favorite silhouette right now is Jordan 3s. I wear those the most. And I got these on sale. That's how little people bought these. I bought these literally on sale. And so glad I got them on sale. So, but no, these are dope. Where you can get them, I mean, there's a JD Sports in Toronto, so I don't know. I've never been to JD Sports, but they're a new up and coming sneaker shoe store, so they might have them. If not, you might have to go the consignment route. But I don't think the resale is going to be high on these. These sat on shelves for a while. I don't think there's a lot of demand for these. Like these went on sale like 2 different times. And I finally bought it the last time it went on sale. Because after it went on sale, the time I bought it, it was full price. But I got these, like I said, I got these on sale. So these are dope. Like I said, I just love the concept of it. Something different, something unique. Everyone complains about old Jordan putting out the same old colorways, da da da. But then they put out a different colorway that's dope, and you guys complaining it sits on shelves. So can't please everyone. Just do what works for you at the end of the day. But these are dope. These are number 6 in my collection. The Rare Air Jordan 3s. Get them if you can. All right. So I'm gonna stop the video here because I have a lot of shoes to show off. But stay tuned. I got more shoes I'm going to show off. Give me 5 minutes to get myself together, and then I'm going to show you my top 5 shoes I've purchased this year, which are pretty much Jordans, but top 5 shoes I've purchased this year. So stay tuned. Peace.